Colin here, and I would like to talk to you about something that most people do not want to talk about, and that is posture. So the reason most people don't like the word posture or the discussion of it is because they have some sort of a memory of an aunt or an uncle or a parent that was always reminding them to stand up straight, stick their chest out, pull their shoulders back, yank their shoulder blades down, head back, I don't know, arm twisted behind your back. It did feel like contortionism, right? So because of that, none of us really want to think about it. And what would tend to happen when that relative that was bugging us would leave the room? We would go from whatever kind of forced posture we were in right back to kind of a slumping posture. Why? Because it's easy. Because our body's just hanging here and it takes less physical effort. So one thing that I want to dispel is this whole myth that it takes more effort to hold a better posture. That's absolutely wrong. This has nothing to do with effort, it has everything to do with awareness. Ideally, when you're in a good posture, what happens is it takes the least amount of effort. And that's why it's considered good posture, is because then your spine will support the whole weight of your body without putting extra effort onto your muscular system, skeletal system, nervous system. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about this. Because how do we get you from one to the other? Well, this whole shoulders rounded forward and head forward posture is pretty much epidemic in our country, especially for people that do desk work and computer work and this sort of thing. So what I want you to know, first of all, is some of the things that this can create, both short-term and long-term in the body, because this modified posture just doesn't work. It's bad posture. And the first thing is people will tend to get pain at the base of the skull that can lead to headaches, migraines, that can also lead to jaw problems. They can also get some degeneration in through the discs of the neck or some rubbing of the vertebrae, which create bone spurs that can actually then pinch nerves that run down into your arm. You might get a sense of pulling between the shoulder blades or a sharp stabbing sensation between the shoulder blades. The shoulders rounded forward like this makes it impossible to lift your arms overhead, either to the front or to the side. It's literally impossible to do, and it will lead to all sorts of rotator cuff injuries and strains. Being in this position also compresses your lungs, which is not a good thing because we need air to live. So you're getting less oxygen into your body to deal with toxins and to help keep you healthy. And one of the last things I would mention is there's connective tissue that runs from the back of your head all the way down and attaches right at the top of the pelvis here. And that connective tissue, when your head is forward, is under a tremendous amount of strain. And that can cause mid-back problems and low back problems as well. So catch this early and start to make these changes early, because at a certain point your spine will actually change its shape and it becomes almost irreversible. So it's better to do it now, and it's actually a lot easier than you think. So what I would suggest is that you do a little exercise with yourself. And I would suggest doing this standing up as well as seated, because if you're working at a desk, it's going to pertain to that environment as well. And the exercise is for you to stand up in your normal posture and close your eyes. And see if it feels like your body's falling forward or backward at all. If the answer to that is yes, it means that your body has not found a place that I like to call neutral. Neutral is that space where your center of gravity is right between your 2 feet and your spine is lining up and holding up your body weight the way it's supposed to. So in order to find that throughout the course of your day, what I would suggest is you do that. You do that exercise of closing your eyes, seeing where your body is in space. Then kind of rock back and forth and try and get an idea of what it feels like to get into a position where you feel the least amount of stress on your musculature, your nervous system, etc. It feels really easy to hang out. I'm going to give you an exercise that makes it really easy to get back to that spot of neutral. And it's called elongating the spine. And elongating the spine is simply imagining that there's a string attached to the top of your head and you're just pulling that head up. And as you do that, you should feel your whole rib cage rise up, and you should feel a stretching in through these abdominal muscles. That's part of how you know you're doing it correctly. So when you do this, you'll notice something really interesting. You'll notice that your shoulders will naturally roll back. And you'll also notice that your head will naturally come back. So this is what I talk about when I'm talking about awareness as opposed to effort. This is all about awareness of where your body is in space. So even though this became a comfortable position because you were letting your body hang, this is just shifting it so that you're now elongating your spine, and this is an even better position for your body to be in and let your body hang from here. Because now you're lined up so that the bones are actually stacked on top of each other correctly. They can really easily hold your body up. So the challenge becomes, how do we make that transition and keep that awareness and make the shift from here to here as easy as possible? And the answer to that is to put a post-it on your computer monitor, on your desk, in your wallet, in your car, on your phone, put a reminder of some sort. And I would just write down one word that helps to remind you. So it could be elongate, thinking of elongating the spine. It could be breathe. It could be expand. Anything like that that really speaks to you. And throughout the course of the day, when you see that, close your eyes and just check in to see if it feels like you're falling forward or backward. Make that change. Elongate that spine. And over time, this will start to feel more and more natural, and it'll feel so much better than this forward rounded position that you'll be really amazed before you're kind of halfway through this process. So I'm also going to include some exercises in another video, as well as stretches that will help to open up the musculature that tends to get overly contracted and tight from holding a bad posture, and also to exercise and strengthen the muscles that get weakened by bad posture. So that will help to further along this whole progression, and I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope it benefits you well.